Welcome back to the Midnight Who Show, and today we're going to be reviewing the Netflix miniseries Hollywood from, of course, Ryan Murphy. And I found this a really interesting historical what-if type of show of course, the golden age of Hollywood. You know, I really think the show had some amazing performances in it. Honestly, I think the entire cast was really good. But I did have a couple standouts, and that was definitely Jim Parsons as Henry. Boy, his character, I liked him at times. I really hated his character. Mostly, you see, it's very interesting how he actually, recruits people as a Hollywood agent, but some of the stuff he makes them do is just, like, would not get away today. It would be like, he would, be all over the news. Now, of course, my other favorite character was actually played by Dylan McDermott. He played, of course, Ernie, who was kind of this pimp character who ran it out of a gas station, which, when I first watched this for the very first time, I was like, that is the most interesting business I have ever seen on screen in a long time. It's just like he's just recruiting people to work at his gas station, and then sometimes people just come up and say, I want to go to Dreamland. I found that just out there. But he was a great character. About this miniseries, which I really enjoyed, was how it just kind of shows all aspects of Hollywood. You got, of course, the new person in Hollywood who just wants to make it in the world and become the best actor of all time, to, the people who run the studios, the executives, and all angles of Hollywood. I think, though, out of all the angles it showed, one of the strongest things about this miniseries was that it focused on a group of people who were always pushed aside in Hollywood. They were never allowed in the theater, and they basically never really had starring roles. They were always in the background, and that was, of course, the African-American community. And, of course, they also focus, you see a few things of the Asian American community in the United States, and even homosexuality. And it really does show, what they really had to go through, and it was not an easy time for them. And it kind of presents itself as a miniseries that's really trying to break that down and show a group of people who are actually breaking that mold and making their way in Hollywood for a better future. And I really found that interesting. But, of course, that's also not easy because, of course, the studio that's doing this, which in this miniseries is A Studios, they face so much backlash for this. They're not like, everyone's cheering. No, this is the 1940s, and people are deeply upset by this. And, they have to protect all the workers. There's burnings on the studio worker who's making this film's lawn. It's not easy for them. But she's making this film. She's going through with this to make a movie and going for it. And it does win them some awards, of course, the Oscars. But I think it just kind of does a really good job with that. Now, of course, with this miniseries, I will say there's a few things I didn't really enjoy about it. Even though I did like most of the characters, sometimes some of them felt a little bit pushed to the background and didn't really get too much development. They have sometimes problems with the pacing, how they kind of organize some of the episodes. But, it's not a very long miniseries. It's only about 7 episodes. And it doesn't feel too long, though. So even with those pacing problems, it does make it up here and there in parts of it. But to me, I really think, though, they casted some amazing people to perform these roles in this, miniseries. And it's just a great miniseries, honestly. I really enjoyed it. I really liked how it's just exploring Hollywood in the golden age, but also presenting a different path for a lot of people. And how it just took one kind of studio person whose husband may have had an unfortunate course of events in this miniseries, but it was all just that one person. She made that choice, and she rolled with it. And you really start to see the consequences and some positives and negatives from that unfold in these 7 episodes. I really would recommend Hollywood if you haven't viewed it. It's just a really great miniseries that does explore some really interesting issues. So if you've seen Hollywood, tell me your guys' thoughts in the course of the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, everyone.